Whoa, this is historical. They finally found a non-white person in the Epstein files. Well, he can still pass as white, actually. When I saw this photo on CNN, I thought Bill Gates had a tanning accident. But no, he's actually not white. If Epstein were still alive, he would probably say, see, I'm not a racist. In case you don't know who Deepak Chopra is, he's not quite as rich as the other Epstein guests, but he has like a few $100 million. And he's the most successful person in the field of alternative medicine, which is probably the most fraudulent line of work I can imagine. You know, the same hassle as Doc Oz and RFK Jr. Well, except Chopra identifies as a Democrat. Some of you accuse me of never criticizing a Democrat. Well, I'm doing it now. It's okay to argue for a healthy lifestyle or something, but these alt-med people are not just giving you exercise tips. They always try to discredit actual medical science because they'd be less popular if people listen to their doctors. I saw an interview of this guy and he was like, we recently created an emotional chatbot for treatment of depression and suicide prevention. What the heck? How much do you want to get them killed? And then he was like, hey, we should work on an emotional chatbot for cancer patients too. Like, how much do you love money to come up with something like this? I actually had some experience with these spiritual weirdos who prey on sick people. So when I was in China, I had the misfortune of talking to some Qigong masters, okay? Those guys were weird to say the least. Well, they're mostly banned now because it turns out that the cults can be a political threat to the Communist Party. Plus, China has an official alternative medicine, which has a patriotic name called the traditional Chinese medicine. You know, basically just some unsafe herbs without standardized ingredients. And that's a big part of China's public sector, so I guess they don't want competitions. But there used to be so many Qigong masters back in the 90s. Okay, they talked like Master Wu Gui, but with a price tag for treating people. And those guys were not well themselves, you could tell. In order to make you believe their bullshit, they had to sort of believe it themselves. Okay, they had to gaslight themselves first so that they could talk with passion and contagiousness. Feels the greater qi from the cosmos with the inner qi from your organs. Be a part of the universe. Some of you are burping right now, or maybe farting. It's all good. It means your qi is being channeled. Alright, snap out of it. It's not an ASMR video, okay? Then I came to America and see all those alt-med people on TV, and I'm like, oh, I know these people. I don't know if you remember this televangelist selling a cure for COVID. If it were up to me, they should be in jail for mass murder. They're worse than the Qigong masters because they are playing the game at a much larger scale. For God's sake, these people are not even alt anymore. They're the mainstream now. So yeah, I wasn't even slightly surprised that Chopra was associated with another creep/fraud who like to offer people advice. So a rule of thumb is when someone driving a sports car goes on TV and tells you to detach yourself from your material life, there's a pretty good chance that he has regular orgies without consent. It's just the type. I once saw this Indian lady on TikTok saying that you should not trust anyone who brands themselves as a guru, because real gurus hide in the mountains where no one can find them. They don't do podcasts or get on TV. Ain't that the truth?